What's up, everyone, and welcome to the Round 3 Front 9 coverage here at the 2022 Las Vegas Challenge. You're watching the first stop of the Disc Golf Pro Tour. My name is Mitch Phillips, and joining me is Nathan Queen.
Yeah, what's up, man? We're out here for the third course that we're playing at the Wildhorse Golf Club, the Innova Factory Store course. Longest layout that we have this week. What do you think about it?
Yeah, definitely the wind, tends to come into play more on this course, but it really felt like today it was more favorable. But let's check into our leaderboard here on our card. Chris Dickerson, minus 17, a couple players at minus 16, and really not far off the lead at all.
No, definitely not. You see right here that Chris is only 2 strokes off of Calvin and Gannon. Drew right there, as well as Anthony Barella.
Yeah, Drew shooting the hot round, minus 13. As we check in with Chris Dickerson's bag. Really just been jamming on the Challenger OS and the putts. He's been putting drones further than when most people are throwing fairways. He's been doing a lot of work with those, and of course leaning on forces as these long courses, we continue in. Jumping into a new face here to Gatekeeper coverage, Linus Carlsson, sponsored by Latitude 64. He putts with the judges. He throws a lot of the OptoX stilettos and really leans on, you'll see the verdict a couple times come out on those mid-range holes. And Kevin Jones, of course, putting with the PA3s, and some new discs to his bag. He's actually his own lineup. He has the reverb and the distortion, 2 discs he's going to lean on a ton. Reverb has pretty much replaced every driver in his bag, it feels like. And wrapping up our bag check here, Tristan Tanner. Pretty simple, very simple bag. Throws a lot of rives, a lot of pioneers. He's a big forehand player. Definitely on a course like this, he's able to attack with those and then lay up with those anvils.
Yeah, those rives seem to be a good choice for those Latitude players. I know a lot of them have switched over to those.
Yeah.
And getting right into it, hole 1, 415-foot par 3. Pretty kind of standard shot, really. If you can get a nice flat hyzer, or stand-up hyzer off with a soft finish, hopefully a fairway driver for most of these players.
Here at the 2022 Las Vegas Challenge. Up first, sitting at 17 under par, we have Chris Dickerson.
And Chris will be up first. Really the only trouble here, sometimes there's a headwind. You could stand your disc up a little early and fade it off. Go OB on the right side. Not much OB really to deal with on the left. Chris going with a more overstable fairway here. Gets it pulled off to the right a little bit. Actually catches a tree and then kicks back inbounds. Pretty fortunate there.
Yeah, very fortunate to stay in bounds. Yeah, Linus, one of the many European players coming to the Disc Golf Pro Tour, and excited to see him just absolutely attack this course. One of the highest rated players in Europe.
Yeah, it looks like he may be going down to a mid-range here. Oof. You can see in the background, looks like those flags are moving like a tailwind with a little bit of right to left, so that should help this mid-range drift on further to the basket.
Maybe just a little bit early out of the hand. That mid-range play, you really got to get over on it.
Also at 16 under par, welcome Kevin Jones.
And Kevin known to throw over the top of anything every chance he gets. Really on a course like this, when you can kind of choose the lines you want based on your type of shots, it really becomes a lot easier instead of having to kind of shape some of these left to right moving shots you can throw over the top.
Yeah, how fast the ground is out here. These steep angles that they put, that Kevin especially puts on these discs, it helps it stop and not have much movement in it. And when you can drop a dime like that, why not go with it?
You can see the run up here. Kevin Jones is known for just really sometimes not even get to the front of the tee pad, working on those angles, but really that low reach back, fast run up, but still being able to control the weight shift and just smack that thing into the clouds.
Yeah, great shot.
Tristan Tanner.
And Tristan seems to like it out here in Vegas. I can't remember what year it was, maybe 2 years ago. He had a good showing up towards the lead card.
Yeah, this was pretty much his breakout tournament. I feel like that was the first time he came on the scene, and during that, he was throwing pretty much mid-ranges off most of the tee, just controlling the distance, left to right movement. See if he does that today.
Not quite as high as Kevin's hyzer, but he's going with that hyzer route as well. Looks with a slower disc also. That was, the way that landed, it may have been a mid-range.
Yeah, the way the wind slowed it down to is perfect as Chris just lays up here. Not really worth trying to do anything with that wind kind of moving in this flat ground.
It does appear flat, but if you hit
Yeah.
metal right here, that wind, it actually does slope down behind the basket.
Yeah, as Linus is just low.
And that wind, with how short this grass is, can just kind of blow it away.
Yeah, it's not really grass. It's nearing the concrete level in some parts of this course.
Tristan with a great putt to start the round. Circle's edge is always kind of nervy for that first putt of the day. Able to connect on it. That's a great start.
Kevin from just closer. He makes good for birdie as well. Just crazy. I mean, the difference in shots here on hole one to begin with. The different lines, when you look at it, it's a pretty simple, straightforward, just, hyzer flip, but being able to go mid-range, driver over the top. I mean, so many different ways to attack this one, and pretty similar scores. 2 pars, 2 birdies to start off the round.
Yeah, not a bad way to start for any of the players. You'd like to get the birdie first, but can't always get that done. That brings us into hole 2, 649 feet. This hole is pretty similar to last year, but they have brought an OB line on the right side. This tree on the right now is a pretty good marker to where you want to get to. I think that's close to 500 feet. Really, you want to go over top to get to this green. There's not a great line below, so we should see some over-the-top short shots for the upshots.
Yeah, we'll talk about more when we get there, but yeah, this green is just really tough to access, but where you land left or right on this fairway kind of dictates if you're able to need to go super high over the top, or if you're able to kind of maybe flex something over it and just kind of land softly.
Yeah, Kevin may have gotten far enough left. He's got a little short forehand up over the top on the left side, but ideally you'd like to stay out towards the center instead of drifting left like that.
Yeah. And Tristan looked like he's going a little bit left as well, but maybe a little bit more distance on it. Just skipping past Kevin's.
Yeah, he's gotten more up towards the top of that hill. That could be pretty open up there. And Chris making the correction. He's going to use that right to left wind to get a huge skip over to the left side. He'll be right in the middle.
Yeah, just passing that 500-foot sign right on the right side, and yeah, it's a good spot to be. That way, when you get there, you can choose the wind and figure out how you want to attack that green. Big shot here from Linus.
And using that, if you were looking at the flags, you could see that it kind of switched to a headwind right there. It looks like he read that well to get that disc to drift over to the right. He'll be a little bit further left than Chris and in a pretty good spot.
Yeah, now we get a look at how this green is truly blind. And you kind of throw over the top and hope that you make it up there. A lot of guardian trees, left, right, long, and very, very sloped.
Yeah, he got a good little push off to the left side there. He might have a few branches kind of still in his way, but drifting left is a little better than staying on the crest of that hill.
Linus going over stable mid-range.
Oh, look at that disc fly.
Disc looks awesome. It's like half green, half black. It goes a little bit long, and didn't look like he pushed too far in there, but definitely going to have to go to an interesting stance. And you're right about Kevin being able to have more of almost a look at it, forehand over the top.
Just catches that last tree before the basket. If he got past it, he'll have a putt, but if he stayed underneath it, those low branches are going to give him an issue.
And Tristan lining up looks to be a grenade. Oh, and that is a great shot.
Yeah, he is out in the open. He'll have the cleanest putt of the group, I believe. Interesting choice there.
Yeah, just made sure it goes up to down and just sits right down.
I wonder if that has something to do with Kevin being on the card. He knows
Need to
he's the
show him
grenade
up.
thrower.
Linus from far, just left and short. Yeah, and you get a look at how tough this green really is. Chris having to navigate just outside the circle, I believe.
Yeah, it looks like that little slide did him lots of good. He's got the one spot over here, short of the basket, it looks like, to have a clean putt, and takes advantage of it.
You can go for it.
Great birdie from Chris there. Tristan looks to be just outside of 15 feet.
Yeah, Tristan really in the best spot you can be there. If you're going to have a clean putt like you said on this green, you're really happy, as we're going to see Kevin already setting up, going out to a knee and really stretching out underneath this limb. Just low there.
Yeah, those are frustrating. Inside the circle, you really feel like you should make it. But sometimes they're tough, you know. It's hard when you're not doing your typical putting stance to adjust and make all the correct adjustments.
Yeah.
So, couple birdies, couple pars, just like hole one.
Yeah, as we move into hole 3, it's going to be a par 3, 359 feet. 389 feet, sorry. And it's going to be going pretty much over the top, pretty stock hyzer shot for most of our players here. Definitely one, if you're going to ace a hole here on the factory course, this is definitely the one to do it. Kind of put it high over the top, let it crash down. This green isn't too fast when it comes to spiking in. We talked a lot about it so far on the sand, how some is skippy, some kind of sticks. This one tends to really try to just catch onto your disc.
And Tristan getting a little sneaky there on the inside. He was definitely looking to put that around that last palm there. But gets up there for a look inside the circle.
Chris a little wider and higher.
Go in. Go in.
Oh, and has a little bit too much speed on it. Fortunate tree at the end to bounce him backwards. Looks like he'll be inside the circle as well.
Yeah, you heard the card telling it to go in, but yeah, just a little bit long.
I'm not sure I've seen a birdie putt from up on top of that hill. You don't see him get that far real often.
Yeah, with how sloped that green is, it's definitely one to try to attack safely. Kevin going even wider here.
This looks pretty good out of Kevin.
Yeah, putting it just almost inside the bullseye there. Yeah, this hole kind of feels more like a transition hole where you have, hey, you're getting kind of warmed up. You had a tough green in the last one and just kind of continues you on through the course.
I can do it too.
And also looking pretty good out of Linus here. Gets through that last one and he is parked for the birdie. Let's take a look at his form here. You can see how level he's keeping his hips as well as his arm. Pretty level swing and just clean form.
Yeah, with as tall as he is, being able to keep his back, straight and not have any kind of contortion or anything going on, just, so clean. Here's that look at Chris from the top of the hill going to a knee, into a headwind here.
Oh, and that headwind gonna cause a little bit of havoc. Luckily, with the thickness of the sand or dirt that's on the ground here, doesn't get too bad of a roll away.
It's that thick sand. Tristan from makeable range here. Good putt there.
And 3 for 3. That's about the best way you can start the round.
And this did come in as the easiest hole on the course. Makes a lot of sense. Like I said, just a pretty stock shot for these guys. But one, like with the green, can get away from you sometimes. Good hit there from Linus.
Yeah, with the rest of the card already getting birdies, even though you haven't had a bad start, it definitely feels good to get your first birdie of the round.
Kind of jump into the momentum that everyone's starting to build as we, get going in this round. And Dickerson to make his par here.
You can see it's Saturday. You've seen a couple galleries in the background already. It's beginning to grow.
Yeah. Energy is coming.
PDGA Event Support Helpline.
Hey, so I'm setting up the most epic event of all time, and I'm wondering, do I need insurance?
As long as the event's in the US or Canada, insurance is included with your sanctioning agreement.
Okay, awesome, because we're trying this cool new thing where we have an alligator pit on the 18th green. It's gonna be epic.
Insurance or not, I don't think having literal death putts is a good idea.
Okay, I'll consider it. Oh, no, boy, no!
Are you still there? Oh God, are you still there?
All right, here we are, hole 4, 309 feet. Very difficult basket placement here. You've got the green OB and all these bunkers do play as a hazard. This last bunker we're flying over now is blind from the tee. Have to choose something fast enough to make it over, but then as soon as you make it over, you have to stop or else you're gonna have a circle's edge putt up the hill with a very possible rollaway.
Yeah, kind of that bunker placement where a good shot can still land there and you're putting for par instead of birdie. Tristan just over the bunker.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Such good touch on that forehand.
Yeah, just 309 feet. You know, you can see our players discing down if they're throwing a forehand to that kind of approach style disc, controlling it, letting it land soft.
And he stood this up a little bit, gets just around the bunker, and he'll have one of those just inside the circle putts, but there's not much behind it, so it makes it a little scary.
Yeah, as we see Linus going to the backhand here.
And this is a much touchier shot, in my opinion. It's harder to get that distance control right
Yeah,
on a
as it comes
turnover
right.
because you're trying to get it to move in that left to right.
Yeah, you see it not full turnover, so it kind of fades out and goes down the hill. And that's pretty common with the backhand. If you don't get it enough, we'll find it. Let's see if Chris can correct off that with the mid-range here, I believe. Similar result.
Yeah, also just a little nervous to really get it turned over. It can dive down pretty quickly with the winds out here if you get it turned over too much. And this will most likely just be a layup play. Maybe not, though. He's taking
Yeah,
it.
he's really, yeah.
There it is.
There's that mental decision,
Yeah.
seeing if it's worth it. And maybe if he's not as obstructed, he's going for it. But Linus in a spot where able to attack this one.
Is it just, I mean, I see branches in between here and the basket. Maybe it's just me. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're right. It was that little bit of depth perception, but this one's looking a lot cleaner here.
Good short attempt there.
Yeah.
Kevin with a clean look.
Yeah.
Jams it in for the birdie. He's now three down out of 4 holes.
Yeah. I think this course does a good job of that. It is the longest course, like we've said. A lot of big open fairways, but a lot of these greens are protected where the difficulty kind of comes then. So your placement is really important.
Tristan 4 for 4.
Getting hot here in round 3.
Yeah, he's now taking the lead on the card. And if anybody on lead card watches scores, they're already watching his for sure now.
Yeah, when you see the player just on fire like that, it's definitely something to start paying attention to as we move into hole 5, 470 feet, par 3. You're going to be working your way uphill the entire way. This one is really, the green comes into play, but a lot of players, if you don't have the distance, sometimes you're, laying up a little bit or maybe trying to push off left. But yeah, this basket drops off so much behind it. Really the only danger being that green.
So Tristan having plenty of distance going for this one. And it looks pretty well done. He'll be right around circle's edge. A bit of a scary putt here. This is one of those holes where if you have a comfortable 470 as your max comfortable, that's the best. If you can throw 570, it's a lot harder to tone this down and not go long because you can go over that crest and end up OB pretty quickly as well.
Kevin just a little bit left, and like you said, he's one of those players that has more distance than he has there, and it does slide all the way out of bounds.
Yeah, that's pretty tough. As soon as you get over that edge, it's pretty tough to stay in bounds if you have any type of speed.
And Linus, a player, has a lot of distance, but also has a lot of control, and I feel like that's a pretty common theme for a lot of, especially the European players coming. This one, it looks good. A little more of a turnover line.
Yeah, getting that
Flexing back,
flat drift off to the right side, but it needs to slow down as well.
Sorry, catch cam jumps over it, curls up. That's a great shot.
Yeah, fantastic.
A little more direct line.
About 15 feet. I like the low stand-up line. It gives it a chance to really slow down. This is a bit higher from Chris. Oh my goodness. He almost aces, and that's going to be OBE.
Did it? It may have curled up. I think it may have curled up. It had a little bit more
Maybe that
distance
line's a
behind
little further behind it than it is over here on the left
it.
side.
Yeah, I mean, it comes around the side.
Man, what an ace that would have been, huh?
470, looking right at it. Yeah, he does stay in bounds here, it looks like.
Well, that's good. I'm glad that's in bounds. I feel like it should be.
That's the...
Oh, and that was going to do it. This needs to sit down.
It is rolling and rolling.
Curl up for him. Yeah.
Tristan with nothing but drop off behind the basket. Yeah, just a little bit low.
Yeah, it looks like he had his disc moving a little faster than his normal putt there. Maybe trying to combat some wind, and it just didn't quite get the release time right.
Oh, and Chris having to roll. Oh, please don't roll out of bounds.
It's going to... Oh, and it curls just in front of the OB. He's now putting for bogey.
Thankfully, he didn't go out of bounds, on the first shot or here. So, luck trying to, get on his side even with these rollaways. Let's come back here for bogey. Good reset. Able to stop the bleeding and clean up.
Yeah, it's tough to collect yourself like that.
For sure.
You feel like, he almost aced it, so he feels like he should definitely get the birdie. Gets another rollaway.
Yeah, the almost ace to out of bounds is probably one of the worst feelings in disc golf. As Linus makes easy work of hole 5 here, getting the birdie, putting that touch on display. And Kevin to clean up his par as well. Excuse me, for his bogey, he did go out of bounds in the drive.
Focus. Get rid of any of those pressure thoughts and really center yourself, like where you're at and the shot you're throwing. Trying to just really let everything besides the basket bleed away.
Here we are at hole 6, 730-foot par 4. Pretty similar to last year as well. There's some OB on the left side that they've added closer to the basket. If you can get to about this area, maybe further on the left side to have a little more open shot. From there, 400 or 350 feet is kind of what you're looking for your upshot. These guys will probably have closer in the 300 range.
Yeah.
They all throw pretty far.
Yeah, going to that kind of left to right moving shot with a driver here. Big left to right. Maybe too much turn on this from Linus.
Yeah, just a little bit. Oh, and he may have rolled right into some pretty tough footing there.
Yeah, the footing's tough, and I feel like that one bush just kind of pulls everything towards it, just kind of brings even more difficulty into it. Tristan, a little bit of a higher line. Letting it work right.
If this fades back some, he'll be in a pretty good position.
Oh, yeah.
Does get the fade back. He is way down the fairway and right in the middle. Great shot from Tristan.
I think I'm gonna do right here. I'm sorry, Derek. Perfect. Good?
Yep.
That patented long run up and smashing shot here. Out of his hand, he said that's gone.
Wow. Yeah, you're right. That is gone.
Wow.
And gets an absolute smash. He made it sound like he wasn't going to get the stand-up that he wanted. But throwing a super understable disc there.
Yeah.
Putting that almost at a, that looked like an 80-degree hyzer or so like that.
For real.
And
kind of his natural release point, and he is able to shape shots a lot more than most players.
Chris with a nice calming breath before his throw. And gets a rip off. He gets it turned over nicely. It's going to fade back out.
Wow. Even
Trying to get
further, yeah.
Kevin a little bit of distance there. It looks like he has passed his by about 30 feet.
Yeah. And here's that tough footing and reach back here for Linus. And the OB down the left side here, really trying to let it turn. But, yeah, that's a tough spot to be here.
Yeah, I imagine he's going to have to go a hyzer stand-up or a hyzer flip here. And pulls it a little bit too far right. It can get a little tricky over there. We'll see where he ended up at.
Yeah, it looks like he kicked out, though, so he's not going to have to navigate those trees too much. But Tristan going forehand into the green. I like this play.
Yeah, I think this is the ideal play. Kind of go right towards that big tree you see, skip around it or in front of it, and you'll have 20 feet left.
It's like he was listening to you as you were throwing that. Perfect. Kevin going the backhand here, being a little more on the left side of the fairway.
And pushes that a little off to the right, but he does have a clean putt. He'll be in circle 2. And Chris with a smash of a drive, probably inside 300 feet here.
Yeah, easy work here for Dickerson so far on 6. And, yeah, as we can see, Linus going to the – look at he's kind of running this.
Yeah, giving it a nice soft bid, and that
no way catches the bottom.
Is something that you never want to happen. You know, you're giving it the safe bid to try to stay close, and he does a good job at it, but just catches the bottom and gets a roll away. He'll now have a very tough look for par.
And Kevin Jones.
Kevin Jones, circle 2. Let's
rewind it, yeah. Jump putt Jones making his namesake true there. Edge of circle 2, pushing long. He's not worried about it. Linus after that brutal roll away.
Yeah, this is probably 43, 44 feet now.
Mm-hmm. And again, that distance he kind of had to go more to the flex and hyzer out of his hand compared to his normal, hyzer putt. This will be a
bit of a tester again now for the bogey.
Mm-hmm.
Able to connect on it.
Yeah, and being that this is a temporary course, we play a lot of these on tour. Hitting the bottom of that is something that happens more than, we'd like to admit. It's definitely tough, but sometimes, you got to know that putting it under the basket is not necessary. Sometimes you can put it within 10 feet and be all right, as Tristan makes easy work here for the birdie.
Yeah, he's now 5 down through 6. He's having a great round. And these are some of these first holes are tougher ones to get the birdies on.
Yeah, he's jumped into a tie for third, already making moves. Dickerson for for birdie as well. Huge drive out of Dickerson to go further than Kevin there was amazing as we move into hole 7, par 3, 463 feet. This one is a rip, but you also have such a green that is protected. Kind of the theme of this course. Ways to attack this one is either going to be high right side crashing in, or maybe even a low skipper. But if you don't get far enough here, it's really just a layup.
Yeah, this is one of the ones they've changed from last year. The basket was over to the right and in an open area, making it, if you can throw 460, then you should be able to get the birdie. Now they've moved it to a pretty guarded green, like you were saying. Tristan doesn't have a clean putt there, I don't believe. He's right behind that tree. Those branches are going to be giving him an issue.
Yeah, pretty common result to be kind of that edge of circle, if not mid-circle 2, on really any side of the basket if you come out a little bit early or if you push too far right. Yep, and Kevin knowing it out of his hand, just a little bit early left.
And it did hit the ground short. It got a nice skip. He is pin height, but off to the left, that'll be another obstructed putt.
Chris here, trying to have this one crash in on the backside. And short again, just catches that tree. That's a good roll, though, I think, forwards. He should have the cleanest putt of the group so far, it looks like.
Yeah, really a tough green to access here. I think a low line drive to get your skip to not jump up like we've seen so far. All the skips are jumping up into those branches. If you could throw a low shot, keep it low to the ground, the skip should stay the same.
Yeah, kind of match the angle of where the ground is, and that's a good forward roll, but again, going to be quite obstructed and having to go to a knee here is Linus. Good bid to kind of flex around that tree, but yeah, as you expected, Tristan. Yeah.
Tristan also. He may have enough room. He's got a pretty fast spin putt. If he can get the nose up underneath these branches, he's still got a chance, but pretty tough putt here.
Oh, Tristan Tanner from a knee.
On fire.
6 for 7. We rewind this one back. He did get that nose up perfectly underneath those limbs from a knee just outside the circle. That's a putt, from a knee just outside the circle. Definitely be practicing that one as we see similar.
Even Chris here, we thought he'd have a more open look, but he's having to go off to the right side. He's going to have to put some hyzer on this putt and get it to drift back a little bit. And just a little quick, not able to hang on there.
Kevin for par. Yeah, pretty common result here. This one came in just middle of the pack, ninth difficult hole, which, makes sense. Like I said, you get guarded by those trees, lay up, but not too much difficulty once you get through them.
Yeah, shouldn't be too many bogeys on the hole.
Yeah.
Just harder to birdie. Hole 8, 390-foot par 3. Totally new hole on this one. New tee pad, new basket placement. You've got this OB green in front, and yet again the sloped green just behind the basket. If you've got too much speed coming in, you could go OB on the cart path long as well. Fairway drivers most likely. If you can get your disc to skip on the green and just kind of skid to a stop, it's going to be the best way to get this one, but it's a pretty scary play.
Just low out of Tristan there. And I think also a good play, maybe even the mid-range, to be able to control that speed coming in if you're not playing that skip. But
it looks like that's what Tristan went with there. And safe play off to the left side.
Yeah, Kevin with the fairway, probably going more for the skip here.
Can go wide and get a big drift back as well. But it's a little tougher to do with the wind play we've got going on.
Even with the fairway driver, a little more direct, going to be just inside the circle there.
Yeah, and if he had caught that green, it would have skipped faster. I believe it would have been right up there on it. He'll have a pretty scary putt now.
Chris going mid-range, hanging it out. The right. That's going to, that distance really, unless he's really feeling it, probably going to be a layup with how fast it is behind. Mid-range in Linus's hands as well.
And great shot there from Linus. He's right around circle's edge, just next to Kevin. Chris taking no time, being smart. And he'll tap in his 3. This hole does play as the 3rd most difficult, so very tough birdie to get.
Yeah, with that green and then everything rolling off behind it. And there's the difficulty. Tristan pushing just a little bit long, going to find himself, thankfully not out of bounds, but closer to the edge of the circle with the comebacker uphill.
Yeah, a putt that would typically stay, 20 feet or so. He's now circle's edge. Oh, center pole there from Carlsson.
Really good controlled putt. No worries with the drop off behind. Kevin from a similar distance. His style of putt has a little bit more of a safer run at these.
He's got a bit of a nose down on his and just gets it in there. Looks like it was almost left side, but catches. He's got himself another birdie to put him to 4 under through 8 holes.
Yeah, Linus and Kevin both, after picking up that bogey, really able to right the ship and kind of get going here towards the middle of the round.
So Tristan to keep his clean round going.
Oh, and catches every bit of the basket, just highest in the chains, kicks him out. It'll be his first bogey of the round.
Yeah, that's sometimes feeling your putt can turn out bad. That's one of those situations, but he's still doing well for the round. That brings us into hole 9, 417 feet, par 3. Blind basket, you can't see. Once you get pin height, there is OB on the left. That is pin height. That palm you see over on the left side, that is OB. So very difficult green to access.
Yeah, it's kind of what on a lot of places would be kind of a casual out of bounds, but with it being right there, it is kind of takes distance. I believe it's OB long as well. Like OB kind of curls around the backside a touch.
And Kevin going over to the right side. There's a line lower than that, I thought.
Right.
I didn't know you could go over top, but he has done it well. He's inside the circle and has a great look at birdie.
Linus more that straight line left to right. This looks perfect.
Yeah,
Big
that's the line.
skip.
Stop. Oh.
There's that out of bounds on the backside.
Thrown it too well. Ends up skipping OB.
Yeah, it looked like he had a full driver in the hand. Maybe got too big of a skip, needed to disc down just a little bit. Expect Chris to match this kind of turning straight shot. He's really good at these.
Yeah, gets a nice stand up and drift to the right. It's going to be just in front of those trees. And off to the right side of the pin, there is a tree over that way. We'll see if he's got some branches in his way or not. Either way, inside the circle, great tee shot.
Interesting going to the forehand. I like this play. If you have this over 400-foot distance that not many players do, but this is definitely part of Tristan's game. Pretty safe way to attack this. So smooth out of the hand.
Yeah, and gets a nice stand-up straight. As long as this doesn't go too far, it's going to be pretty good. We'll see.
Yeah, it sounded like he caught a couple of those maybe palms on the way in, but just low from Chris with a full commitment.
Yeah, and those branches on that giving him a bit of trouble. Looks like Linus has some low branches also, but able to connect for the par. That's 2 good putts in a row from him.
Yeah, he got going in round 2. That's definitely what put him on this card, some really long putts. He has a putt that really isn't affected by the wind at all, as we see Tristan did get all the way into this low palm.
Yeah, and this is that one that's right in front of the basket. Once you get in there, not much you can do.
Not at all. Kevin for pretty unobstructed, it looks like, for birdie.
Yeah, for the lone birdie on the card here. He is caught back up with Tristan, who was trying to distance himself from the rest of the card for the round. They're now both 5 under after this front 9, which is a great score.
Yeah, I mean, pretty clean front 9 overall, but this course, like we said, the distance is obviously here, but for this card, not a problem. The difficulty comes in on those greens and those low-hanging branches and making sure you're using your distance to put yourself in positions to make good putts.
Right. You see each player with a lone bogey, more birdies for some than others.
Yep.
But Gannon Burr still showing out. He is 4 down, has the lead by 1 over Calvin. Tristan making a move up there towards lead card territory. Got an exciting back 9 coming up.
Yeah, I mean, to see this back 9 open up even longer holes, if you can believe that. But again, just being able to control that distance, put yourself in good positions to attack some of these holes is going to be key. I'm excited to see how some of the players on our card can continue. Tristan Tanner's forehand, we got to see it there at the end. Some of these back 9 holes definitely that can come into play and put him in a great position to attack.
Yeah, and some of the players that didn't get quite as many birdies on the front, going to be pushing harder on the back. Excited to check it out.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining us here for the round 2 front 9. Be sure to like and subscribe. Sorry, round 3. Like and subscribe here at Gatekeeper Media. My name is Mitch Phillips. Joining me has been Nathan Queen, and we'll see you for the back 9 here real soon.
We'll see you guys out there.